Alright, let's build an egg farm, shall we? There's a few things that we need. A pen, for chicken, obviously. This plot of grass is 7 by 7 and the inside is 5 by 5. We need something to feed the chicken in the morning and give them chicken feed, so we use dispenser for that. We need something to collect the eggs, just a hopper does the trick. We need something to collect the eggs in the morning. For that we use water and a piston to block the water. We need a way to tell when it's morning and that a day has passed. So we don't detect the sunlight or anything like that. We use what we call a decay timer. We use 4 of them. The basic idea is that when you drop an item into the world, it automatically despawns after 5 minutes. And so you can use that to know when exactly 5 minutes have elapsed. And if you use 4 of those together, well, then 4 times 5 minutes gives you 20 minutes. Oh, I picked it up too early. And when 20 minutes passed, you can give them chicken feed. We use the red part here, that's called the nearest knowledge, for memory. And we use the purple part, which is a pulsar, because our memory is just 2 torches in front like that on 2 blocks, and 1 torch is powering the other one. Basically what happens is that this is always gonna quote unquote remember which side is powered. That's why we call it like a memory. But we need a pulsar because if I leave this lever on, I can't infect it anymore and I can't change which torch is powered. So this thing must be used with a button signal, a short signal. And that's what the purple part does. It takes what is a lever signal and turns it into a button signal, a short pulse. And we also need to measure how long the water is going to stay to collect the egg. We don't want it to be too long because water over the grass is going to kill it. So to do that, we use another dispenser with junk items and a pressure plate. Let's have a look at it. This is roughly the item you're going to need: some redstone, pressure plates, dispensers, a piston, some redstone torch, a repeater, 1 hopper, and some cobwebs. You also need chicken feed and some useless item. Pile of dirt or pile of sands or anything you're not going to use that you have plenty of. I'm going to start by building 4 decay timers connected to each other in a loop. They spit items in front of them on top of a pressure plate. And we reverse that signal with a torch. And then we power the next dispenser in the loop. We also want to block the path to make sure that our items from the dispenser are gonna land on top of the pressure plate, so you can use any kind of block for that. I like to use glass so I can see inside what's happening, but any block will do. Now we can use any of the pressure plate signals, because since they're in a loop, each pressure plate is only going to send a signal every 20 minutes. So we're going to use this one, but it can be any of them. We build our pulsar. Don't forget to put that on the last setting. It's just this. We build over here our memory. That's like a 3 by 3 with one block here, one block here, nothing in the middle. Put the torch on the same axis and make them connected in a loop. We take the signal, let's actually reverse it so that this one is powered for the most of the time. We connect that to our pulsar signal and make sure the torch is on here. From the on signal, we're gonna move it across from here. We're gonna inverse it and use a dispenser here. We want to fill it entirely with whatever items you want. I forgot to fill these ones, but yeah, you want to make sure that they are all completely filled. It's not that expensive because one stack of dirt block is going to give you 8 stack of piles, so it's pretty cheap to use. Over here we have water. We're just going to pretend that this is coming from a sea, a pond, whatever, some naturally occurring water. And we make it facing down so we can block the water. We take our signal, still the same as this one. That powers our piston. And then we reverse it and we can have our dispensers that are feeding the chicken feed. We also want to use cobwebs in front of the dispenser. That just make sure that helps to make sure that the chicken feed is going to be eaten by the chicken and it falls slowly. It's just a little guarantee. You don't really need them, but if you have shears, it's pretty easy to get a few of them in the morning. And don't forget to put the redstone signal on top of the blocks. And to finish, we only need a hopper. You can then access it from the side. If you want, you can actually even power it to add a chest, but 18 stacks of eggs is gonna give you a lot of room to remember to pick it, so you're probably not gonna need it anyway. And that's pretty much it. And now if we check, in the morning we're spitting chicken feed. We have our dispenser. Oh yeah, I shouldn't forget to add here at the end of this water channel, we connect a pressure plate to the other side of our memory, and that resets the water. And this way we can actually adjust how long the water stays collecting the egg. If you think it's too long or too short, you can just move the pressure plate. Closer means that it's gonna stay for a little less longer, and if you put it further, it's gonna stay with water much longer, which, as you can see, can kill the grass pretty quickly. So just adjust the timing however you see fit. And that's it. Have fun!